We're going to talk about some general causes of hearing loss. There are endogenous or exogenous factors that may cause either congenital, remember that's around the time of birth, or acquired hearing loss. So endo, think like internal, hereditary, or genetic sources with different likelihoods of occurrence. So there could be a genetically dominated hearing loss where you only need one parent to be a carrier and the children have a 50% chance of receiving the gene and having hearing loss. Or recessive, which is much more common, where both parents have to carry the gene and each child has a 25% chance of inheriting the hearing loss. There's also X-linked recessive causes where the son has a 50% chance of inheriting the gene from the mother for hearing loss, and mitochondrial mutations where all children will receive the gene from the mother, but the daughter will not be affected. There's multifactorial inheritance, where you have the additive effects of several minor gene pair abnormalities combining with a non-genetic environmental factor that triggers the hearing loss. So remember, endogenous hearing losses is genetic for the most part. So of the 50% of the congenital hearing losses where there are no identifiable causes, it's speculated that 90 are from genetic origin. So I hate to say it, but it seems like so many things are tied to our genes. There are delayed hereditary sensorineural hearing loss where the child is normal at birth. It could pass the newborn hearing screening, but then develop hearing loss within the first 12 months of life. That could continue through 6 years of age. And initially, the parents see the child responding to their voice. These children tend to do well with auditory-based intervention, so their brains are able to make some connections before they lose their hearing. So these children end up being great candidates for cochlear implants because their brain has made some connections for sounds before they lose their hearing. So any time period with hearing, the better off you are. There are also exogenic causes of hearing loss. So think exo, outer, caused by external events. So environmental factors like a lack of oxygen at birth, bacterial or viral infections, meningitis, measles, chickenpox, influenza, encephalitis, mumps, noise exposure, head injury, ototoxic medications. Going back to endogenic hearing losses, it's a bit confusing, but Connexin 26 is the most common cause of genetic hearing loss. It's a recessive gene. It's mutation in the Connexin 26 on chromosome 13, believed to be responsible for up to half of the recessive non-syndromic hearing losses. This is a protein that's critical for the potassium exchange within the organ of Corti, our hearing organ. And it happens during embryonic development. These children tend to have congenital hearing losses without other medical problems and with no identifiable causes of hearing loss. So these kids are caught with newborn hearing screening programs. It's a recessive gene. Most of the parents have normal hearing. They have a history, no family history of hearing loss, and it's a surprise. And about a third of the population actually carries this, so it's pretty common. You could do genetic testing. Genetic testing is incredible. It's kind of scary what they could do, what the doctors can do to the fetus to find out their genome and see what the child might be a carrier of or a carrier for and what the parents have. And it's good to do genetic testing. It's good to recommend genetic testing, especially for families that have histories of hearing loss or other genetic disorders, just so the parents can make plans for how they want to care for their child in the future.